Hi there.
Well, hi, how are you?
I'm a little tired, I have to
A
admit.
little tired. And unlike usual, I can say I haven't seen you in so long, but the
I
truth is,
know.
I haven't gotten to see you. So,
Me too.
if you are just joining us here on the Pointing It Out podcast, you are probably coming either from the audio or the visual audience. And this voice you'll hear is Megan Holmes coming to you from the Needlepoint Clubhouse here in St. Louis, Missouri. And my partner in crime over here is.
I'm Melissa MacLeod at the Needlepoint Clubhouse. I'm
I
not at
wish.
the Needlepoint Clubhouse. I'm at the Wool and the Floss in Detroit, Michigan. So sorry about that. Here, if I'm glad that some people are listening to us on the audio and not seeing the visual because I'm tucked into like the smallest space in our shop at this moment. So for those that are watching the audio, it's my finishing room behind me. I'm not in a closet.
And I will tell you, though, that for those people who are watching, it is kind of fascinating to see the guts of a business. So, Melissa's sitting among pillow forms and fabric and DMC, pearl cotton used to make cording and all of those
Smart.
things. So,
Yes, yes.
I got the opportunity to actually sit in front of the wall that holds. Does that make sense? That is hosting? I don't know. Does the wall host things? The wall that I'm sitting in front of is that which is left from our big market weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yes, yes.
So we are here to talk about the I don't know, the excitement that is spring market, the fun that
It's
we
so
had.
awesome.
It's really actually very hard to bottle it all up into like a 45-minute podcast. But um, we have historically sort of done this after every market. We kind of get into what did you see, who did you see, what did you enjoy, just to give everybody sort of a glimpse of our weekend.
Yeah, a couple fun stories. I did talk to, and now I can't remember who it was. And I said, there's nothing like your first time. Like,
Well,
seriously, your
mhm.
first time at market is like you're a kid in a candy store. Let's be honest, it's a little bit painful. It's a lot of fun. It's all the things. So yeah, it's just amazing. But that excitement I don't think ever wanes. Like every market is as exciting as the last. So yeah.
I even should think about this for a hot second before we get. It was 2017, I think, was my first. So this would
Yes.
be, I mean, save for the times we lost. I mean, at least 6 or 7. Am I doing that
Years,
math?
right?
4, 8. I'm trying to think of how many markets that would be. But
Well,
yeah,
times two, except for there was only one that we missed because you and I went to that very tiny market, and in 2020, in the fall of 2020, we missed spring of 2020, and that's it.
that's the truth. So, so going into market, I always get, I don't know about you, but I get like major jitters, and I come across as very confident and easygoing and all the things, but the um the coming together of all of the market people and the it's all of our friends, but it's also we're getting ready to spend a lot of money.
Oh,
We've got colleagues with us who we are
did
hoping can keep the operation going.
did you get declined at all during market?
Not this time.
I did because I forgot to clear out my card before I came.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, and it happens to the best of us. We
Well,
were
the
able
good
to
news
distribute.
with technology is I'm like, oh, declined, ding 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 on my phone. Oh yeah, there's $47,000 on my card. Hold on. Ding ding.
Yeah.
Okay, run it again. And it went right through. So it was
Well,
okay.
and weren't you the one who had to use her personal card the last time? You had to get out your like own personal American Express or something.
I didn't have to. Your memory is slightly correct. I accidentally was using my husband's personal Amex.
Oh, that's what it was.
So I just had to flip some money around and he got all sorts of Delta points. So it was all good news. But yeah,
It
that was
worked.
just me like stuck the wrong credit card in my purse. And so I didn't have to use it. That was just all me being a bozo. So yeah.
Yeah, so what I was alluding to though was the jitters. So it's this is fun for us because it is our hobby, it is our business, but it is after all a business. And
It's
um,
exhausting.
I'm I'm to the point too now where I just feel this real obligation to ensure that I see all of the people that I don't get to see on the regular. And so it just feels it's fun. It's 100% fun. But it just feels heavy. It just feels a little
Well,
heavy. But
and
once you get there, once you get moving, it all wanes.
that said, first of all, you wear lots and lots of hats at market. You wear more hats than I do. So I think that makes it a little bit more of a pressure cooker. Um, and also that being said, people always say to me, oh, you and Megan must have spent all sorts of time together. And we really don't get to see each other because, to Megan's point, we try to see the people that we don't have. Like Megan and I talk a couple times a week. We try to see the people that we don't get to see and chat with on the regular, meet some of the new designers, meet some of the new distributors, all those kinds of things.
Yeah,
new shop
that's right.
owners.
So I think I'm trying to think when we first ran. I know I texted you. You were like, "Get coming at you, wheels on the ground, like coming at you." Of course, for me being a distributor, the pressure is on in the distributorship, the wholesale kind of selling at the beginning of market, because you're setting up your room, making sure everything got there, making sure all of your computers and all are working. So do you think? Well, yeah, which is funny, right? You think though that our first encounter was
Our first sighting of each other was, so I mean, this is, I think this is the funny story. And I don't know if your takeaway from it was the same as mine, but when I go to market as a buyer, I have what I call my early hit list. So Friday, technically the market isn't open until the evening. But if the sellers are prepared, they can just open their doors and that signals that they're ready to shop. So we had run into our good friend Kelly Boverman, who is the Bover Arts, the fused glass needle minder gal, who's tremendously talented. We'd run into her downstairs when we were checking in. She goes, oh yeah, I'm just about ready. Come and see me. So that was literally our first stop. So I'm in there, and usually when I shop, I bring 4 people to market. We're not even going to ask Megan how many people she brings. Multiple hats she wears while she's there. But as a buyer, I think you used to bring 2 or 3, maybe 4 when you were just a buyer.
Yeah.
So I bring 4, and Liz and I are there to shop. Emily and Kaylee are there to help process orders and get things up on the website as soon as we can. So when we get home, we're not still trying to load things to the website 3 weeks later, which is what happens in the past. So
Correct.
now, so the 4 of us are in Kelly's room. Typically, it's only Liz and I. Like, we're not clogging up a room like this. So the 4 of us are in Kelly's room. We're starting to pick out needle minders. Kelly's things are little works of art. You can't always get them again. Every single one's a little bit different. She has a limited number of inventory she can bring with her. So we're picking out, and then you arrive. You, Stephanie, Julie, other Megan, I think
Lauren,
maybe Chrissy.
no, it wasn't Chrissy. It was probably Audrey, but yes.
Audrey, yes. Yeah. I knew there was one other person. And you guys start picking up stuff. And my gals went into a feeding frenzy. They were like, we can't lose it out to the clubhouse. As much as Megan and I are best friends, in the bottom line, like, we're a little bit competitors too. And
Sure.
we each want to make sure we've got some of the good stuff. Now, after I had my stuff on the table, I did say to Megan, did you see this? Did you see this? But I think Kelly may have gotten a little bit more business because you and I were there together. That's just my takeaway, because I noticed it a little bit from your girls too. I thought it was really
we just supermarket sweep, we call it, in Kelly Boverman's room, because you really can't go wrong. We know what our customers like, but they like Kelly Boverman's pieces. And so I should have grabbed a couple of my favorites.
I have a few here. I do. So the first couple, I can't remember. So a while ago, maybe 8 months ago, you had said to Kelly, you should have some ginger jar needle minders.
Oh, it was longer than that. It was at least a year ago market, but okay.
So then they were exclusive to your shop for a while. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not sure if the ones that we've sold a lot, honestly, I know you have too, so not everything's still here. So I'm not sure if the ones I have here were part of your original exclusives, but they're really good. So here is
that's the double happiness jar.
Thank you. You know the right words. See, I don't. I would have just made something up because that's what I do when I don't know words. So that one's really pretty. And then was this part of your original?
So, answering that is tough, right? Because I think that might be one of her florals, because everything is a little bit different every time. Right. But yeah, that's a floral. There were dots, there were stripes, there was the double happiness.
This one is like
the vine.
Vines, I would say feathery vines. So those were really good. This one I bought, and actually I thought of you because I know you love.
Oh, I love that. So quick story. So the OG evil eye that was just a round with like 3 rounds. It was like an evil eye. The whole thing was the evil eye. Was what originally introduced me to Kelly. I was like, this is cool. This is glass. This is awesome. But now she's done it in a little bit of a different way. There's a couple of canvases that kind of look like this. I snapped all of these up. I really hope that we still have a couple left because I wanted one, and I don't think I actually like put one in my hands on my desk. But I love that one, really the evil eye. It's fun.
So, and what's fun with Kelly is her pieces are kind of a conglomeration, if that's the right word, collaboration of a bunch of artists. So Kelly, I think, comes up with the ideas. And if anyone wants to know more about Kelly, Megan did a fantastic podcast with her. I was trying to think of how long ago it was. It doesn't really matter. But if you search on our, at least on our visual podcast, I'm not sure if she's on the audio podcast because of the timing of it. But you can find out more about her. But in this case, and I'm going to guess on some of the things, I can't be totally sure I'm right, but she creates the kind of the idea. She has a glass cutter that probably cut this piece for her. And then possibly her son, Ian, painted the eyelashes because he does a lot of her painting.
Yeah, he does.
Piece if he did the painting, but he does a lot of her painting. She might have done this because she says, if it's easy, I painted it. If it looks like it was hard, Ian painted it.
That's cute. She's a neat lady. I gave her at least another handful of ideas because I always have a million of them. So we'll see if any of those come to fruition.
And her son's name is Eli. I completely misspoke, so I apologize for that. She had a couple of fish ones.
The fish were cute. The bluebird on the branch, I think, was a new one.
All sold out, but she's making more. We sold all of ours anyways. And Liz, of course, loves martini.
I don't even drink martinis, but I sort of wanted one of those. It's a clear glass, and she's painted the olives underneath. That was a brilliant idea. I thought that was gorgeous.
So to the audio audience, yes, it's a dark green glass in the background. Clear glass covers the olives, covers the toothpicky thing. What do we call that? I don't know.
Garnish stick, probably something like that.
Garnish sounds much better than toothpicky thing. So she had a lot more really fabulous things that unfortunately are long gone. But like I said, it was just kind of funny to see you. We not only are Megan and I are friends, but all of the Clubhouse girls and the Flossettes have become friends. So it was like a big welcome party in Kelly Boverman's room, and it was super fun.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was so much competition as but I want one of those too. I want one of those too, and those are so cool. And then it was a frenzy, and it was so loud in there. And I left. I was like, you guys can shop. I'm gonna walk outside.
Well, it was loud mainly because what did we have? I just had 4 people, and you guys had 6, and there was Kelly. So there was probably almost a dozen people in a tiny little hotel room, all going
right.
Throwing our arms around each other and hugging people. And so it was super
fun.
Sort
of, you're right. That was kind of like the what do you call that in the book, where it's foreshadowing of the weekend, because it was fun and it was exciting and it was new and it was fresh and everybody was happy to see each other. So so from a people always ask, like, is it all canvases? So from a sort of accessories standpoint, Kelly was there. The frame lock people were there. I did not have a chance to say hello to them. We carry the frame locks. And if you're not familiar with that product, it's a little 90-degree sort of bracket that goes on your stretcher bars. And their son invented that. Did you go in there?
Well, I ended up going in there, and this is kind of a funny story. So this is, what you always get with Megan and I are like little funny stories. So I bought my shop from Jean Candler, who owned the Wool and the Floss for years.
Yeah.
And I'm in the elevator on Sunday, and a gal's in the elevator, and she's from Two's Company. Two's Company used to be owned by Jane Hudson. Okay. Jane and Jean were like Megan and Melissa. They were like shop owner friends. They went to markets together. They traded credit cards. You shop for me, I shop for you. Because of course this is in the era before the internet, so they could have identical merchandise, right?
Right.
And so I said to this gal, oh my gosh, your old store owner and my old store owner were besties. And she's like, this all makes sense now. And I said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, so they just bought their store maybe 2 years ago, and they were going through everything, and they're like, why do we have all these canvases that say the Wool and the Floss stickers on them? And I was laughing because I'm like, I think what happened is when I bought my store, as store owners, we pick and choose. We worked this out with Jean. I think you were a little bit the same with your old store owner. and we were like, okay, we'll buy that merchandise from you, but we don't think this merchandise will fit our aesthetic. So I think she took all of the canvases that I didn't want and just sent them to her friend Jane.
Oh, what a great idea.
Isn't that cute?
They
so
came
anyways,
before us. That's right.
So they're like, you have to come and meet Michelle, I think is the new owner's name, who is, oh gosh, what's the boy's name who makes the frame locks? I'm so sorry. The young man, he's not a boy anymore, but he was when he started. So I met Michelle and we had a funny conversation about this whole thing. And Jane's still in the industry. Unfortunately, Jean has passed and she is no longer with us, but she's very much with us in spirit. So yeah,
for sure.
That was my Two's Company frame lock story. So same owner.
I love that. I love it. So back to my thoughts though, which is there were a number of so accoutrements is a leader in the needle minder business. Of course, the Meredith Collection has the big buddies. You've got Mary L who has her needle minders and Ort containers and
I have a couple.
I didn't get a chance to go to her. I missed out. I don't know how. I think she was around a corner or something. I just missed it.
She was kind of in a hard spot to find. I did have some pre-orders for her. She was on the podcast maybe just 6 weeks ago. So I walked in. She said, "How was the podcast received?" She was so cute. She was very concerned about that. So I did pick up a couple of her brand new items. So she does a lot of felted wool, and all sorts of needlepoint accessories. Not a canvas in the joint. She is a stitcher. She and her daughter run the business together. Everything they do is handmade and absolutely beautiful. So one of her new things is she has done those, they're needle minders that are made of wool felt and they're brought together. She calls them koozies and they're super useful. Well, she's kind of created a needle minder that's just super beautiful. So look at these. How pretty are these? They are felted wool that she has hand beaded on top with the
pretty
magnet on the back. So kind of like Kelly Boverman's. Kelly Boverman's tagline is a piece of art for your art or a little piece of art for your art. And I feel like Marielle's new needle minders are kind of in that direction. The other thing that she had that I bought a bunch of, I think maybe I bought lots and lots of them, is there is a Liberty fabric that has a bunch of dogs on it. And she took the Liberty fabric and turn them into needle minders. So there's not a dog needle minders. So they're just magnetic buttons, basically. So needle minders with little dogs on them. And I thought they were absolutely darling. So this one for the audio is just, it's basically a metal covered button. I think it's metal because there's a magnet on the back. With the Liberty dog. This one happens to be the Cavalier King Charles. And I did pick up one for our friend Heidi at Chaparral because Mary Poppins, of course, needs.
Oh my God, Mary Poppins is a little Cavalier, and she was with her at market. It was so darling. I have to say, this was the market of the needle minder for me. I didn't really buy myself any personal like canvases because I'm basically buying all the canvases for me. But I bought, let's see, I got the I've always wanted the Kelly Boverman Be a Gold. I call it the Be a Goldfish. It's the goldfish with the bubbles. I bought a bow at Stitch Style. I bought, oh my God, several. Now I can't remember. But speaking of, do you mind if I move on from? So speaking of, I also bought myself this. This is a really pretty mug. I don't know if you can see this. It's an ivory colored throne mug, pottery mug. And I bought it in the Nancy K Creations. So Audra is the owner of Nancy K Creations. I believe she told me that's her mother's name.
That's what I think too.
This is a throne pottery mug, and they pipe these words on like they pipe on frosting on a cake.
Oh,
isn't that cool?
That's really cute.
So she does not wholesale these because she can't. It's just, it would be cost prohibitive. So I bought this for myself, but before I put this on here, I looked at her website and I messaged her, and she does have some of these available. I love this mug so much.
Is the inside a different color?
It is. It's like a pretty blue, and the handle is big. You know how, like, I don't know. Are you a hot drinker at all? Well, this is the mug to have if you are. In fact, I have cold drink in here right now, but yeah, it's so pretty.
Really pretty.
I had not really had the chance to get to know her very well. I'd met her one time, I think, in Atlanta, but I had such a joy, I was going to say joyous time, which sounds bizarre, but But I had like such a joyful experience in her room. I actually was in there by myself. And the reason for that is that our gingham stitchery room was on the third floor, but you came off the elevator and you kind of had to go halfway around, and you would have like, it was all the way around. So I was like making these loops. So like I'd get off the elevator and do like a half floor, like 150 times. And every single time I passed by her room, and I was always in a hurry because that's how I
Well,
roll
the
these
market,
days.
you have to be in a hurry. I didn't make it to her room, and not because I wouldn't have loved to. You just, as hard as we go at it, honestly, like the second the doors are open, we're at it. I don't stop for lunch. Like we go, 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 and you literally can't do it all. You just can't.
So in my brain on Sunday, I finally said, you've got to go back there, because every time I walked past her room,
That's
she had
cute.
this canvas finished as a pillow,
So this
and
canvas says bring it.
it says bring it.
And it's kind of like a foresty green, maybe not quite that deep, with almost like a jewel tone rainbows angling on the side, and it looks like it's 13 mesh. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's on my website. If you search bring it, you'll find it if you're listening to us.
So cute.
She had it as a pillow in her front window as a sample. And first of all, the sample was darling. It was bright. And I felt like it was like my war cry. Like I'm running past her and I'm like, bring it. You got this. Like, bring it on. I can seize this day. So I was like, I have got to go back and get this. I absolutely love this. So this is super bright. The other one that I pulled here that I just wanted to share, that once I went into her room, introduced myself, said, I've been staring at this beautiful finish all weekend. First of all, she was playing disco music,
Oh, I
which
love it.
I love a good like vibe and a good theme. And she was just like bright colors, and she's got funky glasses, and she's got spiky hair, and she was just like here for it. This canvas that I'm holding up right now says color can raise the dead. This is an Iris Apfel quote, R.I.P. by
Love
the
it.
way. And she had a couple. There was another one that said something. It was another Iris Apfel quote, but this I almost pulled just to show as we were online here, because it is so bright. There are very few colors in needlepoint, thread lines, but there's some really fluorescent glisten. There's a couple fluorescent like Bella Lusso. There's just some great. There's petite sparkle rays. But anyway, I was like, this. I just love this. It's kind of like saying like, be colorful, like live your life joyfully. I love this, and it's rather small. It's like a, I don't know, 5x5 or something like that probably. But
Really fun.
I just had the best time in her room. Audra is a friend of the industry. She's gone wholesale only. She's just a really bright, spunky spirit, and I just really enjoyed being in there. So that was kind of my like little fun, I don't know, story of the weekend.
We had another, I went and saw Janice Holden. It was kind of the same thing. Like I wanted to get there all weekend, and my finishing manager's coming in. She's not going to be happy that I'm back in this room. Sorry, Kirsty. Sorry, filming a podcast. I'm so sorry. You can come in here, but I've taken over all the space, which is always an issue. And I'm sorry. So we went into Janice Holden's, and this is kind of a funny story because we picked up.
I saw that last market.
Well, last
really
market,
pretty.
It was a brick cover, and it was on 18.
Oh, okay.
This market, it's on 13, and we loved it. We brought home a few. Liz threw it out as a story, and then before you know it, we had a bunch of orders. We went back to pick them up, and her husband was darling. I wish I could remember Janice's husband's name. I should know, but he was there helping her, and he's like, "It's the strangest thing. We haven't really been that busy all weekend, and suddenly all these people are coming in for this piece."
The
I
power
thought Liz
of the internet.
was gonna lose her mind. We have more on order for all of those of you who ordered it, but I think it is, the colors are fantastic. The design is fantastic, like everything about it. So we got a few other things from her, but that pillow, so it was really fun. And he went very out of his way to come and talk to us every chance he got after that. So that was that.
Aww.
You are frozen. I hope you're going to come back. Oh, there you're back. Yay. Okay, go ahead.
I'm here. So the other bright and cheerful thing is always the KCN room. I love going to KCN. They do such a good job of having like new, fresh, bright things. And this, I think, is new. Oops, it's not
really
taped. Sorry.
Pretty.
I love this canvas. Another person who did a really great job at this market was Jenny Sandberg. And by the way, we are not going to have a chance to mention everybody because there were several hundred vendors, and we are not by any stretch of the imagination choosing, like, this is not a paid sponsorship. This is just kind of quick hot takes. So please don't be offended if we don't mention your lines, because we love you all. But what I liked about this, so Jenny Sandberg had this line where she called it, tufted maybe or something. So she took these canvases with stripes and she turkey worked them. And so they were like fluffy on the outside and they were so cool. But I thought this would be an interesting way. So this is a trellis background with tassels going down the front, down the center of this canvas.
Really pretty.
I thought it would be neat to do like almost like stump work, excuse me. Like have like the tassels be 3-dimensional coming off of the side of this canvas. I thought that would be very cool. But this was one of my favorite. I call KCN my like sister store because we're in the state of Missouri, and we end up always buying a lot from them because they're just they do such a great job. But this was one of my kind of bright standout favorites. Did you have any favorites from that room?
I did get a couple favorites. So I pulled a couple smaller things and a couple bigger things because I know people don't always like huge, but I can't help but mention, I believe these are both new pieces from Thorne Alexander. At least one of them is, because I hadn't seen before. This barn owl, is he not so beautiful?
You know, we had a pre-order for that. I did not see that, but we got it back to the shop and I was like, what is that amazing speckled canvas? And it was that.
So pretty. So I was just buying this for the store and I'm like, well, I don't know. I couldn't decide if I needed Thorne's barn owl or if I needed,
that's really cool too.
So yeah, so these are big pieces, not for, maybe the
beautiful
picture, because
they're
absolutely 14 by 14, but the colors are fantastic and I couldn't stand it. But we did pick up a lot of smaller things too. She had this, SCT has had these darling wreaths.
Yes, what a great idea, right?
So we got this little joy. It's big enough to go in the 6x3 Rachel Berry or Planet Earth clutch if you want it. I thought this was super cute. But again, I couldn't decide if we should have the little one. I do have it up there. Or the big one.
Yeah, we bought a couple of both because I just think it's really, really clever. So if you're watching us on the audio, it's just a joy that has a wreath in the middle. It's really kind of hard for us to remember, especially when we're showing off canvases. So,
yeah, we'll let each other remember.
Anything, we're going to try to keep reminding each other. But the other thing is we both have these all on our websites. And so if you go to the Needlepoint Clubhouse or the Wool and the Floss, you'll be able to search by name, probably. I would say Joy, Tassel Clutch, any of the things we're mentioning, you might be able to see. So not a great audio version of this podcast, or this particular one.
And head on over to the YouTube platform and you'll have a richer experience, as our marketing coordinator reminds us.
Yes.
The other thing, historically, there have not been a lot of really good turkey canvases.
Oh my God, I know what you're going to show.
Came out with that turkey piece last year. I can't remember how long ago it was.
The transferware turkey.
Gobs of transferware turkeys. So this is the blue ribbon turkey. Look at how good he is.
He's adorable. Yeah. There was a pillow with multiples of him too.
We did order that. I think Lauren and I talked about this. Lauren and I both ordered it because by the time we got there, which was Saturday morning, by the way, it was already sold out because it's that good. So we did buy the ornament. If you're more of a chinoiserie kind of stitcher,
I died. You see what's happening here, right? The turkey is wearing the pilgrim's cloak and hat.
Oh my God, so darling.
It's so funny. That's a Taylor Beach design. We have a customer who bought that, and she said, "I have all." So Taylor Beach is an artist who the Casey Needlepoint designers translate her art onto canvas, and so her art is sold in a lot of different ways. And so she does table runners on paper. She does napkins. She does all kinds of other items, like party style items. And so someone messaged us and said, I have to have that turkey because I have all of the tableware and I want him to sit like in one of the acrylic boxes on the center of the table, like with a wine bottle in it or something. I was like, that is amazing. I love it.
So cute. And then they had one more turkey piece. So I kind of went big on the turkeys. So this one I think could be a clutch. It could be a pillow.
So, okay, is that a turkey? We stood in the room and tried to decide. I think it's a peacock. But other people thought it was a turkey.
Well, because they call it turkey, and I don't have my glasses on. They call it turkey something. Sorry, don't know the name.
Really?
So I
Great.
debated what bird it was too, but because KCN calls it a turkey, I'm going to say it's a turkey. But
There you go.
really, the colors are really good. So we had fun with those. The other thing that I love there, and I bought this in 3 different, maybe more than that. I believe this is 6x6. And again, sorry to beat the turkey horse.
No, I love that too.
So
we have those. So we have all 3 versions of that.
was there only 3? So we have Trot the turkey. So they're 13 mesh with all these champagne bottles, little turkeys around, a little message in the middle.
Oh my
It says,
God.
I'm
So
sorry,
cute.
toast the turkey.
Toast
And
the
then
turkey.
Booze and bottles.
Booze and bottles. And then excuse me, I always mix up Halloween and Valentine's Day. The Valentine's one says
Drunk in Love.
Drunk
So
in Love. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had it right there. Yeah. Yes, I'm
we
sorry.
bought a couple of all of these because I just thought they'd make great pillows, great trays, just super darling. So, and they were kind of new and different for us. And
so
yeah,
I think those fit in the 8x8, any of the self-finishing 8x8. And so you could transfer by season,
yes,
which
for sure.
I love a good seasonal transition.
For sure. Okay. You started with KCN. So I'm going to say my next, were they on the same floor as you?
No, they were on 2.
Okay, I can't remember anymore. So I did spend a lot of time in the Gingham Stitchery booth. I think I was in there 4 times. Your staff did an outstanding job. I think I saw you in there the last time. By the way, if Lauren decides to watch us, I'm going to tell her that you were right and she was wrong. Your total eclipse glasses sold out. As a matter of fact, we oversold by 1, and I'm praying that you guys can come up with one for my customer. So there was a big, like, friendly argument.
So I can actually see Lauren. I don't know if she can hear me right now because I'm on the speaker and I've got my headphones on, but that is going to be my victory that will never die. She and I have this internal, like, funny thing over another, like, situation that happened, and she constantly gets on me about it because I was wrong. And so she constantly reminds me that I was wrong about that. So one day, I just have to tell the story really quickly because it's so funny. So I said, you guys, because I like to have a shtick, like I like to have a thing. So last market, we gave away Witches with Gingham what's it called? Cloaks or whatever, t-shirts. And so because it was near Halloween. And this time I was like, what can we do? What can we do? And I was like, oh my God, the eclipse is April 8th. And she's like, what? And I was like, the solar eclipse is happening on April 8th. We'll have enough time. I was like, I'm going to get branded glasses. Let's do a canvas. And she was like, that's dumb. And I was like, okay, you guys, let's take a poll. So we had like a shop poll going, like, who thinks the eclipse is cool? It was like half and half. Here's where she's 100% accurate. About 1/3 of the country cares. The other 2/3,
they're like, what's that?
So they're like, what's an eclipse? What's happening? So if you are in the know at all, and if you're into astrology at all, if you're into current events at all, you will know that they've been talking about it a lot here in the state of Missouri because we are in St. Louis. We're like an hour north of complete and total totality, which means they were talking for a while about calling for a state of emergency because it's right on the highway. So people would be like stopping their cars at that time and date to see it because it's pretty cool to see a total eclipse. Anyway, and so I held my ground and I said, we're doing it. I'm ordering those glasses. We're going to give them out. We're going to do this thing. We've sold out. We've printed more.
But the truth be told, the first time I'm in your booth, Megan, who normally isn't a pushy salesperson, is like, you have to buy this.
I said, are you in? I was telling people, I'm like, are you in totality? And they're like, what are you talking about? Then I was like, okay, then no, you're not. I said it to somebody else. They're like, we are the path of totality. Yeah, we are. And I'm like, well, then you need this.
Yeah. So they were very cute. So Lauren
was the inside joke.
Like, this is dumb. Megan's like, this is awesome. And usually they're on the same page. So it was very, very funny. So,
well, and the truth is, I don't even have one to show you. So really, it's a canvas that says Solar Eclipse 2024, and it looks like the front of those funny glasses you have to wear. And then we had, I think it's called iOS approved eyewear, because that's what I recall from the last time this happened, is you had to like get the glasses. Like if you wanted to see it, you either had to make one of those viewers or get the glasses. So anyway, we still have some of those. If you're watching and you need some solar eclipse glasses, you just let me know because we have
Yes.
them.
And I'm hoping we can, fill my one oversold one because I didn't realize. Actually, I
We'll
did.
get you.
I knew they were a limited edition, but honestly, I was listening more to Lauren. I'm like, well, I can leave this on pre-order. It's not going to be a problem. But clearly, Megan was right and Lauren was wrong. So, marching onward.
Oh God! Thanks
Maddie
for bringing that
Sweet,
up because that is the pat that I'm going to give myself on the back and break my arm doing it because that was a good one.
so Maddie Sweet was in your booth and she could not be sweeter. Sorry.
Oh, those girls. The women
teacher,
who are
right?
the gingham stitchery artists are absolutely fabulous. Yes. Excuse me for interrupting you.
No,
Maddie's
no. So we have sold so many of
God.
these animal cracker clutches. I'm shocked I even have one in my hand.
I am
It's our
too.
last one. We've sold gobs of them. People have been eating them up, pardon the pun. So for those that are listening, it is the size of a clutch, 7x9, I believe, might be 8x10. Pink background and the white and the pink animal crackers, and it has all the cute little dots on it. And so very easy to use this as a beading project. It could also be used with sparkles, like whatever you want to do. So this has been out not for terribly long, but longer. And so you guys rolled out the ornament version, and it came in both 13 and 18 mesh. I've got a few 13 left. I sold out of the 18, but I think, not everybody, I think everyone loves the animal cracker print. Not everyone loves it enough to carry it as a clutch. Although there was a discussion about lining it in vinyl and keeping your snacks in it, which I thought would be really
fun. Oh, what a cute idea.
So, but the ornament, this might be better for some people. So now
I have to tell another quick little funny story. So we're in the airport. We actually had to connect in Baltimore. By the way, Baltimore's on our mind, man. That's
that poor
such
bridge
a sucky
and those
situation.
people. So sad.
Yeah, terrible. But we were connecting in Baltimore, and we're sitting at this restaurant eating, and Lauren looks over, and there's this man with a almost like a red and white Hawaiian shirt on. She goes, I think I've had too much market. That looks like the animal print, the animal cracker print. It was literally like a Hawaiian shirt.
Cute, cute. Yeah. So, and the other thing that I brought home from Maddie that I thought was really cute is, again, I think it's kind of clutch size, but this could be a sign. This could be a pillow. So for those that are listening, it is pink on pink stripes, the background, and the cutest painted bananas all around the edge. And in this lovely script in the middle, it says, "Don't go bananas." And I think in our day and age, like, this is just such a nice reminder, like, let's just chill, people. Like, some of this stuff isn't worth losing our marbles over, or
for sure
bananas over. So the color combination I thought was fantastic. I just think Maddie has some really unusual and fresh ideas, and loving what I'm seeing from her. And you had another new artist,
yes,
who is coming to the Pointing It Out podcast retreat, who was coming to the Pointing Out podcast retreat before she was your artist, Chrissy, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So Chrissy is coming, and she was so cute. She had, first of all, I met her mother, who was proudly wearing a t-shirt that said, "I'm team Chrissy J Designs" or something.
She did? I didn't see that. That's so cute.
And by the way, her mother, I literally said, "Oh, and who's this?" Because I was guessing it was her mom, but honestly, it could have been her sister. Like, she's so like beautiful and put together and youthful looking and whatever else. So I walked in and I said, "Well, can Chrissy happen to be the one who came to help me?" And I'm like, "Well, I've got some special orders." And she literally squealed. She's like, "Wait, people send you here just for my designs?" Because a cob of corn, and the other one is this gumball machine.
Oh yeah. So Chrissy's an engineer and a clever needle pointer and has just really great ideas. And so the 3D gumball machine she came up with, isn't that cute?
So it is literally looks like a square, probably like a 5x7 square, but you stitch all the gumballs up here, and then obviously stitch the gumball machine, and then the finisher rolls it into a cube like a Coke can.
Yep.
So could not be any cuter. So 13 mesh, easy to stitch. And then on a much more traditional basis, I don't know if she designed this necessarily to go in a Rachel Berry clutch. That's probably what I would do with it. We never talked about that. I'm like, that's cute. I'll take that. So we didn't get very far in our discussions of it. So 18 mesh, this darling candy cane with a green ribbon, a little tag on there, and then included a little chart so you can put your initials. So
Not cute. Yep.
really, really sweet. So I had a really good time in your booth, especially talking about the eclipse classes. So
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's
okay,
not gonna
what else do we
kill.
have to talk about?
So,
Oh, you keep freezing.
this sounds
on.
really awkward, but if I can self-indulge for just another second. Oh, am I back?
You're back.
Good. So if I can self-indulge for a second. So we announced before this market that I've acquired Susan Roberts Needlepoint Designs, which is a great honor and a pleasure.
Amazing.
But I don't want to go too deep on that. But even if it hadn't been mine, I was very excited about this new 3D house. So you know that Susan Roberts is kind of known for her 3D houses.
So
She
good.
created this new one that's pink. Did you get any of these?
So cute. No, I did not see that. But you know what? I was trying to not go crazy in there because I always go crazy in there. And then I come home with lots and lots of Susan Roberts. So I was trying to behave myself a little bit. And had I seen that, it would have come home with me because that is new and absolutely darling.
So what I love about it is it's peppermint. Do you see the little peppermint chips in the pink? Whoops, I can't get my fingers.
Cute.
So Susan Roberts is sort of known, I would say, for her 3D houses, like thematic houses, and this is part of her Christmas village. She told me that she researches candies. So this was there's a tree that looks like a peppermint that she found somewhere online that actually exists in the world. But why I love this is because I happen to love peppermint ice cream. Love it. And if you can find pink peppermint ice cream, it's like extra good.
And it's pink and green and couldn't be any cuter. So
oh my God. So that actually is on back order. We sold out,
and that's probably why I think I got in there.
But that was a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I probably got in there late Saturday, so it was probably gone by the time I got there, and that's probably why.
May have been. But another thing that really brought me joy, and by the way, I'm not sure if I'm channeling this like bright. I don't know. I'm really into this bright stuff right now. Maybe because I'm finally like out of my like deep depression of gray nastiness, and we're like into bright things. But this is another thing that I like just squealed when I saw it. So you say squeal. So, Julie Cross, who works with me here at the store, is my longest running colleague, and I just adore her. And there's a few things that Julie is like. Well, she's good at so many things. But Julie loves Mary Blair. And I don't know if anybody knows who Mary Blair is. Few people do. Mm-hmm. Mary Blair was one of the original artists that Walt Disney employed. And she was a woman. And she was sort of like
I forgot.
Like a pioneer in her field. Like no women were getting employed by, like the top levels. Anyway, Mary Blair, if you've ever been in, a small world, or the small world, or whatever it is at Disney, is one of my
small world after all.
Correct. So that was one of my earliest memories of ever going to Disney, and like I love how it's like very geometric and very bright, and the color work is just like awesome. And Julie was like, "Well, did you know that's Mary Blair?" And so ever since then, we've talked about Mary Blair. So I walk in to meet Oz Needlepoint. Her name is Claire, which I love because my daughter's name is Claire. And I, just chatting with her like casually, she's originally, she lived in Chicago for a while, and that kind of is a connection for me. Our friend Deb ran in for a minute, Citrus Garden, and she's from Chicago. So we're just like doing all these things. And I look over and I go, that looks a lot like Mary Blair. And she goes, oh, you're the first one that said anything. So this little round is not Mary Blair's art because that would be illegal. But it is inspired by Mary Blair art. And what's cool about Mary Blair is that it's all geometric. It's all super bright, like sort of Art Deco-y. And I loved that I recognized the colors and the sort of theme of it. But what else I loved about this is a great beginner
I would say that looks like it's on 13 mesh. So we as shop owners get super excited when we find really good 13 mesh ornaments because it's not easy to do a good ornament that's 4 inches around with 13 threads per inch.
It's hard, but what's cool is this is very linear, and there are a few colors, so you could sell just a few skeins, and they could go on this. So she does call this the Blair ornament because it's inspired by her art. But I almost couldn't believe it, and then she couldn't believe it, and her mother was lovely, and they're Australian, or she's lived in Australia for a while. She's just a neat gal. She was wearing bright colors, and it was just this like very cheerful experience for me. So I loved that.
Very
So,
fun.
what about? So I have a couple more things in front of me. There's a lot of people we see that we've known for a while. Joanna from the Plum Stitchery typically only goes to the spring market, I think because of family obligations. She's a friend of mine that has been a friend of mine for ever since the beginning of the industry, and I think she's super clever. But one thing she did really well this time is she took her blue and white Alice in Wonderland series, and based on the way a stitcher stitched them, she put them in Technicolor. We only have the bunny left, but it was so brilliant.
Yes, we bought the
She
whole
added
set for so many. They're fantastic.
yeah, she added Technicolor to, and I think she calls it the Technicolor. Yeah, Alice in Technicolor. So she originally did these blue and white. Now they're like acid green and yellow and pink and turquoise and like just super fun. So this is the bunny, the white rabbit. I think we already sold the Queen of Hearts. We had the Mad Hatter, but I just love when a designer can use work they've already got and just kind of tweak it just a little bit and make it something super fresh and new. So
absolutely,
pretty awesome.
Absolutely. You know where I went that I've never been before, and I'm a little embarrassed because again, you always run out of time. You don't have enough time to see everybody.
For sure.
And I think many people who listen to us and watch us on the podcast are familiar with Karen from Stitches by the Sea.
Oh my God, she's hilarious.
She's so funny. She's so entertaining. She's so smart. Like she's all the things. And what some people may not know, if you don't know Karen super well, is her mom is a tremendously talented artist. And I bought a bunch of Judy's things for the first time. I had never been in her booth. Here's my little pile. So we'll fly through them really fast. First of all, how sweet is this? So just a sign with a darling border, and it says kindness matters. And a good message. Sometimes we need a reminder of this, right? Always.
I love that. We've done that on the back of a jean jacket.
Oh, really great. Really good. And then I walked in, and sitting on their couch was this darling pillow. And the one I saw said hugs. And I'm like, oh my gosh, look at that 13 mesh, just not a tremendous amount of colors, pink and white striped background. And she's like, well, we have kisses too. So both of them came home with me. So we only have kisses left. The other funny story is, then of course I saw this. I'll tell you the funny story in a second. Look at how beautiful this rose is.
Oh wow,
like gorgeous. Breathtaking.
So it's the three-dimensionality of that is really, really good.
So, and the colors are fantastic. So it's 14 by 14, I think it is. Yeah. Bigger piece, but all on 13 mesh. And I just thought the art of this is gorgeous. But then the funny story was I also saw this on her wall. So she had a lot of cash and carry. I saw this darling pineapple. So since you're all into your color these days.
Yes. I love that. And they're in Florida, so that really suits them.
So good. And she said she's had people put this on the back of a jean jacket. I'm like, well, where are the pineapples? I want to take a pineapple home. And I hope Judy knows, so it doesn't really matter. So at this point, we're digging around looking for it. And she's like, well, that's okay. It's Sunday afternoon. Just take it off the wall, but don't tell my mother. And so we're like, okay. So I go out the room to the next door because we're just trying to juggle all these things. And Liz is waiting to pay. So I guess while Liz is paying, Judy walks back in the room. She hasn't been in the room when Karen says, just take it off the wall. She's not here. She won't. She'll be okay with it. Judy walks in. The first thing Judy says before she even says hello, I guess, is, what happened to my canvas that was on the wall?
She noticed it when you went back in there?
So Karen was totally busted, but they still let us take it with us. So we were excited because I just love Karen, and I don't know why I haven't made it in her booth before. And I had a lot of fun there. So I mean,
she's a riot. If you don't follow Stitches by the Sea, you should. She's hilarious. I went in there specifically to get the canvas that we've sold over and over again that says reserved for the dog. Oh, so cute. Funny. Yes. It's like a big canvas that says reserved for the dog. They were out. But what did I buy? And I said, I want that. Similar situation. I said, I want that. And they're like, well, that must be our master because it's on the wall. But I go, but there's another one on that wall over there. It's the same canvas. She goes, well, just take it off then. You can have it. And I was like, yes. It's a score when we can bring it home for sure.
I did stop in Heidi's booth at NDLPT Designs almost as many
Yes.
times as I stopped into the Gingham Stitchery. So
God love you, Melissa. We appreciate you.
a lot of the things that we loved, and I know, as a matter of fact, Karen was walking around. Karen from Stitches by the Sea. She walks up to me somewhere and she shoves her phone in my face, like, and I say it like it's aggressively, but it's just Karen. Like, she's so funny, and she's like, "Whose canvas is this?" And I'm like, and it was the Heidi's new avocado that's like dressed to party. Did you see
I
it?
haven't seen that. That sounds darling.
So cute. I'm like, that's Heidi at Needlepoint Design, NDLPT Designs. And she's like, oh, I'm off. And she like, who is this? Okay, bye. And I even knew the room number because Heidi always lets me store my luggage in her room until our room is available. So I'm like, she's 5'11". She's like, I
Oh,
am
very
off.
good. Very
So
good.
we sold all our partying avocados. They're really cute.
I
But
would love to see that. That sounds adorable.
so cute. So she had these rainbows that historically have had like Christmas tree, hollies, and so she came out with other seasons. So this is the Valentine heart, which I thought was really cute. And
so cute. You know we love a rainbow here at the Needlepoint Clubhouse.
you might have a reputation of rainbows and ginghams. So and then this polka dot heart with this bow I thought was darling.
Really cute. I like that, the bow.
She also had
it's giving Mickey or Minnie Mouse. Like if you did bright colors on that bow, you could really kind of do a Disney situation there.
That's what I thought was funny because Kelly said the same thing. I feel like it looks like Mackenzie Childs-ish.
Oh, I can see that too.
So
yes,
I think it depends on how old you are and how old your kids are, what you see. Sure. But there was also one with a Halloween colored bow, which was also super cute, a plaid bow. And then she had some big signs that were really cute. This all is bright is still left.
And oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that pretty? So
yes,
for
I
those
didn't see. I didn't get in her room. I feel bad about that. She's a pal, and
I think I saw Lauren in her room when I was in there.
Yeah, I know we bought from her. I just
Yeah.
didn't get in the room. So I'm trying to see if there's anything left here. But
yeah, so this all is bright is like a 12 by 12 and 12 by 12 ish. And a little non-traditional Christmas colors, 13 mesh, pretty easy to stitch, and I just thought it was really pretty. So
love it. And of course Heidi had Mary Poppins, which is always exciting.
Were at least 4 vendors there that had their dogs with them.
Oh, Melissa Prince's dog, or no, daughter's dog, right?
It's Hillary's dog and Tucker, maybe.
Yes, I think so. Oh my God, he was like a little teddy bear
poodle, and just sat in his little bed, like looking around. I'm like, oh my God, my dogs would be crazy in this environment, absolutely crazy. And then Vicki Whitson had her Boo there with her, and Susan from Blueberry Pointe had their dog. Apparently he or she, I can't remember, is quite handsome. I can't remember what kind of dog, but he said he's a little unpredictable. So I never got to properly meet him because they were like, sometimes he decides he doesn't like certain people. So I'm like, but he'll, but anyway.
You mentioned Vicki Whitson. So a pal of hers, or at least a friend in her neighborhood, is Trisha Sohn. And I was walking around. So I do this thing now at Market where I, sorry, I thought I saw something underneath my computer here, where on the last day, I try to get down every single floor all the way around because I want to make sure I haven't missed anyone. Unfortunately, I still missed Mary L, and I almost missed Trish Sohn. I think it just depends on like where they are and like where you stop and where the whatever. Anyway, nobody wants to hear about my logistical climb through a hotel, but I almost missed her. But she is doing this, and you remembered what it was called, and now I've forgotten. Is it called Little Bits or
Little Bits? Because I have them here too. They're so cute.
I really like this concept. So Trisha is a needlepoint canvas designer, but before that, she's a teacher and a stitch guide writer and a beautiful canvas teacher and stitch guide writer. Yes. And so what she's doing is she's using that expertise to come up with these I don't know why she's calling it Little Bits. I guess because it's simple. It's kind of like a beyond basket weave sort of entree into stitching. My favorite one was sold out, but it was Santa with his feet up in the air, going down the chimney, which was so funny. But this one was darling, and she finished it with a real bell on
so cute
clanger.
So this one is 2 bells with some holly on the top, and probably just are they 3-inch rounds or 4-inch rounds? Not sure. Can't remember.
You know what? They don't have a circle around them. And she and I had that conversation about the templates that your wholesale line offers with acrylic templates, right?
They're actually plastic, but yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
so
either way.
it helps to the stitcher to draw their own border so they can decide whether it's I don't know if that'll fit in a 3-inch, but you can decide your size based on the templates.
But this could be square, oval. Like if you wanted to put a name underneath, you could add it, you could make it a square, you could make it a triangle. I mean, there's like a lot of ways you could do this. So the Bella Suite, it comes with a stitch guide. We also have the trumpet, which I thought was darling. I think it's funny in her picture that this goes vertically and that she finished it horizontally, but I think that what I love about that is that it tells you to kind of like choose your own path, man. You know, you do you.
For sure.
And then I gotta say, I was like, because you know I'm not a cat person, but we bought the cat.
Is so
and my
cute.
friend Mary over here is rolling her eyes, like, don't hate on the cats. But I thought this was cute too. We got the dog also. I think the dog already sold, but we still have the kitty. So
yeah,
I just
had 8 in that new series, and yeah, we got all of them because last market she had that darling penguin that we still have in the building because I bought like 10 of them because he's so darn cute. So yeah, she's just building on that concept, and no one writes a better stitch guide than Trisha Sohn. And yeah.
Well, speaking of that though, there are some vendors who kind of historically sell canvases with stitch guides. Trisha hasn't historically been one like that, although she's got a few pieces in her line that do. But Princess and Me, I was going to say somebody else,
which is where we're heading.
Stitch Style is where I'm heading. I forgot this. Sorry, they're in bags, so I almost mixed it up. But that's the Santa with glasses, which I thought was super cute too.
Yes.
So that goes in the Trisha Sohn style. But so Stitch Style often has these canvases that have, I would say, wouldn't you say like 80% of the time she sells them with? She's got some collaborations now where they don't always have these.
I think if they're Ginny's design, because we have the trunk show in the shop, if they're Ginny's design, the only one that I'm aware of that doesn't come with the stitch guide is the Charleston Row House. And then her other designers that are part of her line, she does not have stitch guides for.
Just simply because it takes a lot of time. But she came out with this little like winter village that I love.
I adore it. At first I was just going to buy like piecemeal, and I'm like, who am I kidding? And we just bought the whole thing. So yeah.
Yeah, it's just absolutely darling. So so we don't have all the pieces. We've sold several of the other pieces in the set, but her stitch guides are so accessible, like as far as like stitches are accessible. So I'm showing right now the little girl. She has a scarf and she's skating on like an ice skating with a little coat and earmuffs. There's a little boy building a snowman. So what's darling about it is he has the bottom of the snowman. So he's got a couple of little coal pieces or button pieces on the snowman. I've got the snowman, or a different snowman, who's part of the village. But what I loved even more is there's a present stand. So this reminds me, I feel like you're just like in a Hallmark movie. Like where you're at you're at this place called like Mistletoe, Colorado or something. And you're like walking up with your hot cocoa to the present wrapping stand where you've just gone through the, farmer's market and bought things. And now you want someone to wrap it for you. Like, it's just so like, I don't know, perfect or something, or like innocent. It's just so pretty. There was also a hot cocoa stand. I think we already sold that. There's a little dog with a
snow angel. And then
oh my God. And she finished it. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
So she finished it like, what's that called? It's like a slice of pie almost, like laying flat, but it looks like the person is just like slightly elevated from the ground doing a snow angel. And the finishing was as good as the canvas. So
and then you can't forget the dog by the mailbox, because
we already sold that too. The little dog with the letter by the letter for Santa.
The whole set was darling. She does a great job with the set. What I love about these sets that Ginny does is for people that maybe aren't religious and like admire a nativity set, but maybe don't want to stitch a nativity set. You can it's kind of like a spin on a nativity set. She's got the Santa, the North Pole series. She has the Forest Friends series. She now has this series. So it's a way to do like a wintry thing that you can do a little bit at a time, and in the end have a fabulous display.
I love that. I hadn't thought about it that way, but I really think that's a great way to think about it. It also reminds me of the people who are train people, like where they've got their whole train like room, you could like join your train husband and your stitcher wife and have like the little things going around. Wouldn't that be cute?
Very
Anyway,
fun.
just
Fun.
I love a village. I wish I could have some time to stitch one. They're so cute.
So cute.
I have a couple other things still sitting in front of me. Do you?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4 like different designers. Should we
Hit it, sister.
Okay. One of the really fun designers was Spruce Street. I had a lovely discussion with her.
Cheers.
Spent a lot of time talking with her. She is new on the scene and readily admitted, she's like, I didn't really know there were so many different ways to kind of do this business. So we had a very long discussion. And while we were talking, over her shoulder was this little sign. It's just red print on white with a cute little border. And it says nice girls only. So again, just kind of sends a nice message, like, nobody has time for the mean girls. And yeah, so I thought that was really fun. She had a lot of kind of regionally specific canvases that probably I thought were a little narrow for my audience. But she was lovely, and I know that there's going to be a lot more good things to come from her for sure.
I agree with that for sure, 100%.
What else do you have?
In that vein, did you get to have a chance to talk to Amanda from Pointe?
I was in there a couple of times, as a matter of fact.
So I'm looking, whoops, over this shoulder. Well done, you. And the bagpipes are calling are from her. Her room felt very fresh, very positive. That no mean girls or whatever you just said. Good girls only.
And I got a lot of things from her that she has specifically designed for a really great beginner project.
Yeah, she does a lot of those little cute signs.
But yeah, I've got like a few different signs, a couple Christmas ornaments. She has this daisy print that's absolutely darling. So just really good beginner projects. She had some other things too, but that's what I really was kind of in my mind going to market. Is this is a whole that we have so many brand new stitchers coming in all of a sudden. TikTok has discovered Needlepoint. And so new young gals are coming in every single weekend. So it was really exciting to find some things that were good fits for them.
Yeah, she was awesome. I had a chance to meet her. So Oz was a person I met new. Oh, Cabell. Did you go into Cabell?
I did not, only because I just gotten, and I don't say it that way. Is that how you say it?
I asked her. It's
okay,
not Cabell,
good.
It's Cabell.
I've been saying it wrong. Mm-hmm. I had just placed a pretty good order with her. So I didn't, again, not enough time to go everywhere.
No, for sure. And I wasn't, no. It's
but
just,
I love her things.
So I had a nice time talking with her. I'd never met her before. She's doing some really interesting charity work. So she's like a chart for charity, but like a canvas for charity, basically. And so I bought a few of those things. I think there's a lot more to come from her, which is exciting. But a person who has been in the scene for a long time that I'm sitting here staring at, that I didn't actually go in, but I had another of my shoppers go in, was to Bradley Needlepoint Company. The cool thing, so if you know Kirk and Bradley, Burnett and Bradley, two sisters, Associated Talents, like they're all under that Bradley Needlepoint Company umbrella. So they have some very, very cool things there. But they had their European designer at market. Did you meet Vernon? I think his name's Vernon.
No, I was in there and I saw Nancy. I saw some of the other gals I've met before, but no, I did not get a chance to meet
them. It was pretty neat. So there, I think it's Vernon. Excuse me if I'm wrong. I've got a lot of names in my head, but he's their UK designer and was at market, I think, for maybe one of the first times. I don't know. It was the first time I'd ever encountered him, which was cool. But Don Lynch introduced me to him. But I believe that he's sort of behind the majority of these designs that are the Kirk and Bradley family of designs. Again, I might not know that whole story correctly, but hopefully we can
half
get.
The time, Megan and I only know about have about 80% accuracy.
Yeah.
So,
but what I do know for 100% certain is that they came out with this really darling, I think they call it the Sea Friends, Festive Sea Friends.
That's a manatee, right?
Market. But I think this guy was new, either that or I hadn't seen him from the last time. But this manatee wearing a sweater, like, can you
so
even?
Cute.
With the sea turtle. Right
Really
before I
cute.
went to market, I went to Florida with my family for spring break, and we went to a sea turtle rescue center, which was pretty cool.
Very
But so
fun.
to have that little, I think he's a crab on top. I mean, this or hermit crab, he almost looks like with those little. But anyway, so stinking cute. I loved
Really
that
fun.
from them. I have one more in front of me, but you go.
Okay, so I did stop in and see Kate Lovie. She
Oh
is
yeah,
so
right here.
cuter. She's like
Yep.
a CPA who's an artist. Like, what a beautiful combination of things. And I don't even think these are new. Her brand new ones that we brought home, poof, gone. But these were new to me. Look at this one with the cute little bows. So the Kate Lovie is known for her Vouv bottles, especially. She has other art in her line for sure, but these Vouv bottles is where she started. And
Well,
this
she
one,
started actually painting on the bottles. You know that, right?
yes, but I mean for canvases, this was
But
kind of like
yes.
her first foray, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this one with the trellis and the little red bows, I thought was super cute. And then look at this one, just really simple, like this little like
Pretty trellis
floral
pattern.
trellis. You could bead that, you could French knot that. Lots of techniques you could do. We bought a few shamrocky things because of course Liz was with me. I'm shocked you still have that Santa bottle in. We sold through a few of those
Yeah,
because that was brand spanking new.
so cute. I see.
So
There's
yeah,
the shamrock
there's a shamrock
up
frame. Yep,
top there.
really cute.
We restocked. I'm sure you did too. And then we actually, sadly, were in her room late, so we didn't get a lot of the new stuff. There were some really, really cute new things in
Yeah,
her room.
so
I don't. It always amazes me that these designers can take a theme and just keep it going, and it's exciting. It's really
well, and some
exciting.
of the designers are like, "Oh, I'm so sorry that's on pre-order." I'm like, "It's okay, because then I'll get fresh new stuff in like 6 weeks, in 8 weeks. Like it, you want to spread out the excitement all around the year. So
For
I
sure.
never mind when something's on pre-order, unless I'm
For sure.
special ordered it for a customer, and then I feel bad. But we do our best. I stepped in and saw our good friend Mary at the Curious Cowgirl. She's kind of known for her vintage fabrics.
That's what
She
I
is
have sitting here
originally
last.
an antique dealer. And so she kind of took her love of antiques and then started doing this vintage feed cloths, which I think are fascinating. And this market, I think, was the first time she's come out with canvases that didn't necessarily completely relate to her feed cloth fabrics. So
not the feed cloth, but always vintage inspired.
Always vintage. So look at this sign.
Oh,
I just thought it was so classic and pretty.
I
13
love that.
mesh, Merry Christmas kind of scroll banner across, lovely greenery. And I just thought this would be a beautiful bolster pillow. If you are someone who lives in a really big house and you have like a giant wreath, hang this in the middle of your wreath. Like,
so pretty.
yeah.
Is that on 18 or 13?
This is on 13. It's on
So
13.
good.
So you
The
have something
piece
from
I
her too.
bought, I've got a couple things that she again is one of those people you walk into a room and the energy just abounds, and it's so exciting, especially for sure. But once you've been like at market and you're kind of tired and you're like food and bev has been like crappy and you haven't eaten well and you haven't, you need kind of some of that like energy. And it was just super, super fun to be in her room. I was so inspired. Not a lot of people probably know this, but I was an antique dealer for like a hot second.
I didn't even know that.
I had a booth in
thought
an
there
antique
wasn't a
mall.
thing that I didn't know about you, Megan. I know about the jewelry making and the wedding planning.
So I had a booth at an antique mall, which was inspired by the jewelry making because I started going to all these estate sales and things and finding just the coolest stuff. And I had an apartment and I couldn't keep it all. So I was like, well, I can buy it and then I can try to sell it. This is super fun. Hot minute. I mean, I want to say maybe I did it for a year. Mary is a professional at it, so I wouldn't even put myself in her league, but I do feel this very like great connection to
Kindred
vintage
spirits. Yes.
Oh, and like kindred spirit, but also like I love vintage things. I love it. Love, love, love it. So I have over here on the wall, I didn't grab it, but maybe you can almost see it. No, it's too far down. She has this similar fashion to what you had that Merry Christmas, but it's candles. And I believe it's from the band of a tablecloth, a vintage tablecloth.
I think she told me that too.
Yeah, and so it's like deco, so the candles go like up and down. And then what's cool about what she's done with her designs is that they meet at the end, so it could be rolled around. So I want to make one, and I want it to be wrapped around a hurricane face with an electric candle in the middle, like a flickering electric candle in the center, because it's candles. And I just think it would be very cool to have it finished that way. But to your point, it would also be like a very cool lumbar pillow as well. But the piece that like totally like hit me like a ton of bricks that I was obsessed with, and I bought them in both colors. Love, love, love. For some reason, I love mistletoe. I don't know why. I think that the folklore of it is cute. Like people kiss under the mistletoe. I just think mistletoe is great. I've got um, Beauvair's mistletoe needle minder. I love mistletoe. So this
They're
is the
so
cutest
cute.
thing I've ever seen. So Patricia Sohn, Trisha, did the stitch guide for this. So it doesn't look like a whole lot.
So this is two darling little reindeers. They look like it's a his and her reindeer, maybe under the mistletoe.
But they're white because
white
it's
on green.
deco.
Right?
It also comes on red, but for some reason the green really struck me. She includes this little piece of ribbon that you can use for the mistletoe that's in the center. So you tack that on
cute.
in the center. The reindeer is wearing a necklace. The girl is wearing a necklace with like little holly in her hair, or on her head, like a little holly crown. And then the male is wearing a bow tie with like his little antlers, and they're under mistletoe and their noses are kissing. And I don't know what it is about this, but I absolutely adore it. And I'm excited to stitch it. I'm going to stitch it myself because Trisha does really, really good stitch guides. Here's kind of, she does like a cool background and all. So yeah. Cute. So that was my Curious Cowgirl find.
So I have to say that we have been remiss in not thanking Judy Tash and Bruce.
Oh, you are so right.
Acrylics for running this market. It was almost flawless. My joke this morning on my live was the needle pointers broke the internet. The hotel couldn't quite keep up with our demands on the Wi-Fi. So other than that, which was out of Judy and Bruce's control, I felt like everything else went really fantastically. For the most part, I think it is a volunteer job, just kind of like what Megan and I do with this podcast. We all kind of in this industry do our little parts to support this little piece of the world that we are all involved in. And I did buy some lovely canvases from Judy. Some of them support dog rescue, which I, of course, loved. And I always have things in order with Bruce. So it was lovely of them to plow through this industry. Lots of pieces to come together to organize, and they did a really good job, other than our little snafu with the Wi-Fi. But
well, you know what they said is there were storms came through and that the tower was struck by lightning.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
But when you're operating, like everyone's operating, like running credit cards with Wi-Fi and such, so it was a bit that they could not control any of that. But it was a hard pill to swallow.
And I'm not sure if we stated this because we're so knee deep in it, we kind of forget. When you go to these shows, a lot of the vendors are in hotel rooms, and so it was the entire second, third, fourth, and fifth floor. And then the first floor has some ballrooms that were set up, which is where Susan Roberts was, where Alice Peterson was, where Bradley Needlepoint was. And then they had a whole area of pipe and drape, which our friend Raymond Crawford has been fighting for the longest time. And I'm like, Raymond, are you living your best life back here? And he sure was. So there were a number of vendors down there: Kate Dickerson, Raymond, the collection, Meredith. I had a nice time. I bought a lot of stuff from Meredith. It's a lot to manage, and they did a great job. So.
You know what? Thank you for bringing that up. We were remiss. You're right.
Yeah. So. Well, we weren't done yet. You covered. That's right. So yeah, and then of course all the buyers are staying on the other floors, and then there was also an overflow hotel for the other buyers as well. So lots of moving.
For sure. And this hotel ran out of wine and food on Sunday night.
You know what else they ran out of? Diet Coke.
Oh no!
Yes, that was my crisis on Saturday, and Liz was like, oh boy, we got to solve this one, because Melissa without her Diet Coke is not a pretty picture. And I think Lauren came to the rescue, and because you guys had Diet Coke in your room. So we tried to DoorDash Diet Coke, and it didn't happen. I don't know what happened.
We do grocery runs now. at the beginning, and we just get whatever we think we're going to need for lunches and stuff. So maybe we'll have to add Diet Coke, extra Diet Coke to the list next
just
time.
for Melissa.
That's right.
Yes, but it was a great weekend. It was fabulous to see all of our industry friends. It was a lot of hard work, but it's joyful work. So we're lucky, very, very lucky to do what we do.
It's pretty awesome. I have to agree with you. So,
Yeah.
so you've shown off everything you wanted to share.
Yeah, I had some of the gals from. I'm hesitating because I can't remember the artist's name. So Meredith represents an artist by the name of Ellen Winslow, maybe, but I could have that totally wrong. And I have been obsessed with these ladies for the longest time.
Oh, those are
They're
good.
so pretty. And she said she's not sure she's going to be carrying them for much longer. So Emily and Kaylee were like, yeah, something must be up because Melissa brought home 3 of these fairly large canvases, and I don't have a lot of wall space, but each one is more beautiful than the last. And I apologize that I knew the name at the beginning. I should have written it down, but we've been through a lot of information. So, but they're 18 mesh, but there's very large spaces. These beautiful like ladies in fabulous clothes with little skinny legs and beautiful colors. And I just love them all. So when I found out that they might not be around for too much longer, I had to bring 3 with me.
I think you made a good choice. The heart wants what the heart wants, you know?
It does. So it was super great and can't wait for September next time around.
That's right. The market's always fun, but now we're all catching up. And I hope everybody has gotten their glimpse into the world of market. You know, it's a lot for us. We feel like we're kind of like deep in it. So as always, if you have any questions about anything we're talking about, please feel free to put it in the comments if you're on YouTube. You can DM us on Instagram. You can email us at pointingitoutpodcast@gmail.com. We are here to just bring information. Like we're trying to bring, and that's why we kind of joke. Like we have 30% of the story. We're always honest when we don't know exactly what we're talking about, but
like
we do.
The artist name. So sorry about that.
But
if you know it, I just don't know it now.
I mean, it's a lot of information. So you get a pass. So
Thanks.
thank you for following us along on this market journey, and stay tuned as always for new things. And if you have not subscribed to the podcast on YouTube, please click that subscribe button. And in addition to that, you can also subscribe to us on any of the audio versions that you happen to be listening on. So thanks you all. We're going to sign off for now.
Good to see you.
Take care, Melissa. We'll talk soon.
Chat soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.